Welcome, 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 my honey buns. And I thank you. This is going to be just a few seconds of your time. I want to offer you a special for October the 29th and the 30th. Now listen, only the 29th and the 30th. I am going to be doing tea light readings for $30. Now, usually I don't do tea light readings over the phone, but on the 29th and the 30th, I decided to let you see my magic. All right? So, this will be by appointment only. Appointment only. And I am going to start at 11 o'clock a.m. and I'm going to finish up at 5 o'clock p.m. and that's my time. So book your appointment. They must be prepaid and it is only $30. Whether you come in or you call me, $30. The 29th and the 30th. So make plans. First come, first serve. And thank you, thank you, thank you. Kisses. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Mama Eva and today's a good day. Today's a great day. Today is a fabulous day. But what's more important, today is your day. Well, yay! I have a very, very special honey bun with me today. And just as I had promised you, we're going to be talking about a topic today that is so not just important, but so interesting, but not just important and interesting, but it is constantly a topic that I am getting requests because people want to know more. Today, in this session of my Tuesday tea, we're going to be talking about shadow work. So, I want to introduce you to Miss Kenda Bell, and I'll let her take it, and I'm going to have some questions for her today also. But before we get started, because it's Tuesday tea, let Mama pour some tea.
Goody. I'm so excited to be here.
No, I'm excited that you agreed to come.
Oh, thank you.
I often say, I'm a person that like to stay in my lane. And if I can't give the best information, I don't want to start anybody wrong. So I decided I want to go to an expertise, somebody that know much more about it than I do. And I just offered her, I just went to her and said, can you come in and bless my viewers and my subscribers? And right off the bat she said, absolutely, Mama. So Go ahead and take it.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I want to thank you for having me here. I'm so excited to be sharing this, and I want to thank everyone that's watching for taking the time to listen to what I have to say. I admire your work. I support you, and you have been a great support to me as well with the work that you do. So she asked me about what is shadow work and how does that interplay with a lot of the wonderful tools that she has here. And one of the things is that a lot of times when we're talking about the workings and getting good luck, whether it's with finance, like relationships or so have you, we oftentimes have what we call stories that haunt us. May it be from childhood, it could be as recent as last week, but more often than not, it's the stories that we tell ourselves, even in our subconscious, about why we can't have, or the most important thing, which a lot of the things that we deal with, someone is doing something to me. Now, in saying that, someone may be, quote unquote, doing something to you or sending energy to you, but it's the cracks that are open within us that allows the quote unquote workings to come in.
So often I have customers that come in and they ask me about shadow work. And I try to explain it to them. It's like something or a issue that we tuck deep inside of us that we don't really want to address. It's easier to hide it and not deal with it and not to cope with it. But I hope that I'm hoping that I tell them the right thing, that those issues need to be brought forth.
Yes, ma'am.
Because it's kind of hard to work on something if you don't exactly know what it is. So what would be your suggestion if a client come in and say, I think I need some shadow work done? What would be some of the suggestions, or where would they start?
Okay. So one of the things is that where you start is where you feel that you can't start. Like where is a place that you feel blocked? If it's relationships, for instance, that's a big one with clients that I support and people that you as well support. So oftentimes if we're having a situation with a current partner, right, they are doing what we call triggering you. And I am a certified coach in feminine power and the three-way mirror, which deals with shadow work. It's called the three-way mirror, where there's one pane here, one pane there, and one pane here. And when I ask my clients about what are their issues with their partner or whatever, more often than not, the trigger is either a pattern, which means that this is something that every man that they've dated, or every woman that they've dated, they keep picking the same person that is a quote-unquote liar or has drug addictions or certain challenges. So they're like, I'm so tired of this person. Why do I keep picking this person? I can't get away from them, right? So that's a pattern. So when we talk about patterns, we look at, is this something new, or this is your type, even though it's not your type, but for some reason it turns into your type. The next pane is what we call potential, which means that the person's behavior may anger you or hurt you because it's secretly something that you wish you were able to do but have not confessed that even to yourself. May it be, one of the big things are that a lot of times people feel that someone is spending more time at work, and not that much time at home. Whereas your partner should spend time at home, right? But when he's at home or she's at home, what are you guys doing? Is there actually, you wish that you had a job, an occupation, a hobby, or a business that had you more enthused to be outside, right? And then my favorite is called proclivity. And that's where what the person is doing that's triggering you is something that you also do. And that's like the real bum bum bum, mirror. Because again, one of the things when we talk about love and relationship is he's always lying to me. She's always lying. I can't never get a straight answer out of her. So I ask my clients, if that's the case, if it's not a pattern and it's not a potential, of course no one wants to be like a liar, right? But what if you're not being honest with yourself about certain things, or even to your partner? If he or she is lying to you about what they're doing, right, or they're out, are you not being honest about aspects of who you are? because you're only going to attract what you're vibrating, and that's that internal work that's deep in. And a lot of times these patterns, when I go back to patterns, begins from childhood. Like if daddy or mommy was in the house but emotionally vacant, then it's a pattern of the only love that you know of a stable home or parenting or partnership are two people in a house but they don't talk. And even though you didn't like it as a child, for some reason that's all that you feel comfortable in seeing and experiencing, because you have not done the internal work to say, hey, I didn't like it, I didn't like what happened to me, and I don't have to deal with it.
So, how would I get from living these patterns to actually saying, I need help?
Okay. Well, first of all, there's certain steps. And the first thing is that you have to acknowledge that there's a higher self, which is your God conscience, that knows that all is well and that you can have whatever you want. And then we have to deal with the ego, which only deals with the past. The ego can only argue you and give you information about something that's already happened. Think about it for a minute.
Wow.
And then there's the animal. There's three aspects. There's of course different aspects of humanity, but these are the three main things that we deal with when we're having conflict. And sometimes the animal will erupt. May it be through crying, through rage, arguing, yelling, and screaming. And you have to allow your animal to express itself. So, and that goes with being honest. Like I said, someone's always lying to you. Are you being honest even with yourself to be angry and say, like I know a lot of times parenting, we may say, well, mommy had to work a lot of hours. Daddy worked on the road, so he wasn't home a lot. So our ego will logically understand what that was. But our inner child still holds on the memory of, regardless, I don't like it. And you have to allow yourself to express the dislike and the pain. That's step one.
Do you think that everybody can do some sort of working, or is there cases or situations where a person may need to come to somebody to help guide them through those steps?
I would definitely say so, because a lot of times when you're coaching someone, right, the coach can see the stuff that you're not comfortable in seeing yet. Like I've had people like say that, oh, my mother, no, she was a good mother, and no disputing that they were a good mother, but the guilt as an adult of not feeling comfortable in expressing that, I wish that mommy would have talked to me a little more, and she did not ignore me, or she was always working and dating.
So to answer, sometimes there are some situations where a person may need a coach.
A coach or support system.
Or a support system to actually help, even probably help them to identify, just by them talking or conversing with you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, especially as women, we are very guarded. We're guarded people. And we want to even sometimes put that block up for our own self. So if you would get a coach like Kenda, someone that's caring and loving, and I can say this, not because somebody told me, but because I have a special relationship with her. We talk about everything, you know, and that if you get in a coach, just make sure that the person, number one, you can trust. Number two, they won't go out and tell your business. And number three, that you could be comfortable to actually open up, and so that she can help you, or whoever your coach is can help. So with so much going on now, why do you think shadow work is so popular?
Oh, because we're at a time now where the world is changing. Like, say, we have spent the most time alone, probably than we've ever spent in modern time, in terms of socializing and things like that. So people are revisiting who they are and what they are in a more intimate way than they've been able to do probably all their lives. And what I wanted to add is that if you get any coach, whether you work with me or someone else, when I was talking about the animal and the ego and the higher self, before I allow anyone to vent so we can start that process, I give them basically I give them 9 universal laws that are based upon, thought or Tahuti, which have been accredited to him. But we mix it up a little bit, where we have to contain our vent with a higher self, as to say, your vent level, what it is. And then you have to put in, my vent level is whatever, and no victims, no villains, no blame, no shame. The purpose is growth. The benefit is love. I create my life. Or you can use them all if you need, or use one of them, because that signals to everyone involved, which means the higher self, the ego, and the animal, that the higher self is holding space and not judging you. It's holding space so you can be conscious that I'm venting. I can be safe to express any feeling that may be deemed illogical to an onlooker, but my higher self is witnessing it and saying it's okay, because I want to. I'm holding you. I'm sorry.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So, are there tools that can be used or help even before somebody get to the point where they need a coach? What is some of the things that you would suggest that a client or one of your clients would do, just to get ready before they're getting to the place where, say, listen, I need somebody to help me? If I was to do some shadow work, what would your suggestions be?
I'm going to sip some tea for that.
Yeah.
Yummy. So the first thing that I would tell them is that you have to recognize that everything that we experience is a sacred opportunity for growth. So whatever challenges that you are facing or have faced, I want you to try to open yourself up to, this was created for me to be a better person, or my God-like status. And some people get real sheepish about God and goddess, but if we're constantly creating something, we are gods and goddesses. So when we speak things to ourselves, this is a whole universe.
Yes.
This is a whole, every cell in our body is listening to us. We are the voice of God to our body. So the first thing is to start speaking to yourself, but also listening to yourself. If it's that little 5-year-old child that is still upset from being teased in kindergarten, if it's that teenager that felt like nobody liked them and they were an outcast, to that woman that feels, or man, because there's a lot of men, a lot of pain. If you're that adult person that feels like you gave your all to someone and they did not love you enough, you need to, number one, allow yourself to be okay with those feelings. I think a lot of people guilt themselves into, quote unquote, I'm being stupid, and stop speaking negatively to yourself, because this is the universe and you are the voice of God to your own universe.
Beautiful. You brought up something just struck me. So I haven't personally had men to come in and ask about shadow work. So it's universal?
Oh my goodness. One thing I think with men, I think men are socialized to hold in their pain a lot more.
Understandable.
And so that's why we have men that have high blood pressure. They have higher cases of hypertension, diabetes, prostate cancer, and so have you, ulcers, because they're holding in that yang, that fire in their bodies. And then when it comes up, it can be rage. And that's not saying that the masculine should express himself in a harmful way. But if they're not able to release and vent about how they, as a child, felt a certain way, but being told that they have to, be bigger and better and let it roll off their back. And that's not saying that women haven't been told that as well.
Right.
But men especially need to do shadow work so they can be better husbands and spouses and parents. And my husband works with men and we work with couples. So yeah, it's very important for both.
So I want to give you the opportunity to summarize and tell them that you're on Clubhouse and how they can reach you. And I want to personally invite you to come back maybe next week or the week after that, and we can actually show how to do some shadow workings.
Sure, yes.
All right?
I would love, and if anyone has questions, you want them to post it on the video, would that be okay?
Absolutely. Anybody have comments? And listen, y'all know Mama. If I can't answer it, I will make sure that she will get those questions, and when she come back, she'll have the right answers for you. Because and I have to keep saying this, before I tell you anything wrong, I would not say anything at all, but I'm going to leave it to her. Oh. All right? So I'm learning about shadow work. I tell you, Mama don't know about a lot of things. I'm learning about shadow work too. So, and she's teaching me just like she's teaching you. So, if I feel comfortable enough to leave my spirit with her, I feel comfortable enough to leave all of you, my honey buns, spirits with her too. And that's something that's really special for me, because
I appreciate it.
Oh no, I don't know. I don't do that. So if I'm doing it, believe me, I know, hey, she's A-okay. So give us a few seconds, summary, tell them how to reach you, and everything else you want to tell them. And definitely, I want to thank you, and I hope that you come back.
I will.
And we're going to sit right here at this table and do some shadow work workings. And you can actually see. Now, I don't know if she's going to be doing it. I'm going to be doing it, but hopefully we both will do it together.
I'm down.
All right?
Yeah.
So just go ahead and summarize.
So what I want to say is that you all are magical, right? We are always creating something, right? We're always creating something. So we need to be more intentional about what we create. And that begins with the way that we think and how we feel. And Mama Eve has some of the best tools and wonderful things in her shop that I want everyone to continue to utilize. What I will share is that I have clients that I work with and I coach them, but we also do metaphysical work. And the cord cutting kit, if you haven't gotten it, you need to get it. But if you are still in a victim mode while you're doing it, it may not be as effective as you want. And I'm not saying that her work is not good, because it is good, because it works. But you got to be in the mindset as you
absolutely.
With them 7 days as they come through, that I am no victims, no villain. No blame, no shame. Forgiving of self is like the biggest nugget about this shadow work, because it's never really about the other person. When we dig deep enough, it's really about how you feel about yourself through that experience. And you can reach me at www.kendabell.com, and you can book a free joy session where we can talk about, because I'm all like about joy. The lotus flower is my symbol, because the lotus flower blooms from dirty, dark water.
Yes.
And it does not worry about the environment that it's in, but it pulls the nutrients and blossoms on its own. And I just want to thank you so much for having me today. And I look forward to joining again. And I'm on Clubhouse too. You can find me on Clubhouse, Facebook, and Instagram. Kenda Bell, the same name.
All right. So, my honey buns, I hope that this helped you, because guess what? It helped Mama. And I'm just so excited, not just about today, but what the things to come. This lady not only is an expert on shadow work, but me and her have some deep, dark conversations, believe me. And maybe one day we can just crack the door a little bit.
Okay, I'm down.
Oh boy, you'll be doing like I do sometimes, scratching my eyebrows like, what? Okay. You know, but that's what's needed. I often say a prophet need a prophet, a worker need a worker. And guess what? This one right here, I just love. All right? So, y'all go out and have a good day. And you know what? I appreciate you so. Kisses! Come on, give kisses. Mwah!
Yup.